I'm pregnant.
What? Pregnant? How did this happen? I have a wife and children. Everything could fall apart. Sarah, look at you. You're always tired.
I'm trying my best for this family.
My name is Michael. For years, I thought I was a smart man. I had a beautiful wife, 2 wonderful children,
Good morning, my love.
a stable job in Lagos, and a
Good
peaceful
morning,
home.
my love.
But today,
Thank you, my
whenever
dear.
I look at my life, I see the consequences of one foolish decision. A decision that cost me my peace, my dignity, my finances, and nearly destroyed my family. If I had listened to the warnings, if I had been satisfied with what I already had, maybe things would have been different. But I didn't. And what happened next is a lesson I will never forget for the rest of my life. Before I continue, I would really love to know where you are watching from. Drop your country in the comments section below. And if you enjoy emotional African stories with powerful life lessons, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because today's story carries a lesson many people learn too late. Now, let's begin. I live in Lagos, Nigeria. Back then, life wasn't perfect. But it was good. Very good. I was married to Sarah. A calm, beautiful, hardworking woman. The kind of woman many men pray for but fail to appreciate when they finally get her. We had been married for 7 years. We had 2 children, a 6-year-old son and a baby girl who had just turned 1. Sarah was the backbone of our home. Every morning before sunrise, she was already awake, preparing breakfast, getting our son ready for school, packing my lunch, making sure everything was in order before I left for work. Sometimes I would wake up and find her already in the kitchen, sweating, cooking, yet smiling. "Good morning, honey," she would say, and I would simply nod and leave. I didn't realize it then, but I was already taking her for granted. As the years passed, things became more demanding. Children, bills, school fees, rent, fuel, electricity. Everything seemed to cost more money. Sarah became busier. The baby kept her awake at night. Our son needed attention. The house needed attention. Life needed attention. Many nights, she would fall asleep while putting the baby to bed. Sometimes I would come home and find toys scattered around the living room. The food might not be ready immediately. The house might not be as neat as before. Instead of appreciating how hard she was trying, I started complaining. In my mind, I felt neglected. I started noticing what she wasn't doing, instead of what she was doing. That was my first mistake. One hot Wednesday afternoon, I was leaving a bank in Ikeja. The sun was unforgiving. Traffic was terrible. Lagos was being Lagos. As I walked toward my car, I saw her. A young university student. Beautiful. Confident. Well-dressed. She looked lost.
Please, do you know where the library is?
It is just past that yellow bus.
That was how it started. Just directions. Nothing more. At least that was what I told myself. After helping her, we exchanged a few words. Then she smiled. A smile I would later regret noticing. A few days later, I saw her again. This time near a restaurant. She recognized me immediately. We talked, laughed, joked. The conversation flowed naturally. Before leaving, she asked, "Can I have your number?" I hesitated. I knew I shouldn't. I was married. But then I told myself, it's just friendship. That was the lie I used to comfort myself. The lie that opened the door to destruction. I gave her my number. The calls started. The messages started. Good morning texts. Good night texts. Funny videos. Voice notes. Compliments. She laughed at everything I said. Made me feel important. Made me feel admired. Made me feel young. Every time my phone vibrated, I secretly hoped it was her. Slowly, I became addicted to the attention. Meanwhile, my wife was still at home, taking care of our children, praying for our family. sacrificing for us. And I was too blind to see it. One Friday evening, Sarah called me. Michael, what time are you coming home? I looked at my phone, then looked across the restaurant table. The young woman was sitting opposite me, smiling, waiting, and for the first time, I lied. I'm still at work, Sarah sighed. Okay. Please don't come home too late. That simple lie should have bothered me. But it didn't. Because by then, I had already crossed a dangerous line. At first, she only asked for small things. Transport money, mobile data, lunch money. Small amounts. Nothing serious. Then it changed. One day she needed money for school fees. Another day she needed money for a new phone. Then it became money for hair. Money for clothes. Money for rent. Money for this. Money for that. And because I wanted to impress her, I kept paying. Each time she thanked me, I felt important. Valued. Needed. I didn't realize she was slowly turning me into an ATM. One night, I returned home close to midnight. Sarah was sitting quietly in the living room. The children were asleep. The television was off. The house was silent. She looked at me. Then she asked softly, Michael, are you okay? I forced a smile. Of course. She shook her head. No. My heart skipped. You've changed. I laughed nervously. What do you mean? You don't talk to me anymore. You hide your phone. You come home late. You are always distracted. Then tears formed in her eyes. Did I do something wrong? For a moment, I felt guilty. Very guilty. But instead of telling the truth, I became angry. I raised my voice, accused her of being suspicious, and turned myself into the victim. Looking back now, that was one of the cruelest things I ever did. Soon, my salary was no longer enough. Every month felt like a battle. I started borrowing money. First from colleagues, then from friends, then from loan apps. The debts grew. The pressure grew. But my side chick's demands never reduced. In fact, they increased. Every week there was a new emergency, a new problem, a new request. And somehow, I always found a way to pay. Even when I didn't have the money. Even when I knew I shouldn't. One afternoon, my friend Daniel came to see me. He was traveling to Abuja for work. Before leaving, he handed me the keys to his Toyota Corolla. Michael, he said, I'm trusting you with this. Just help me keep it safe until I return. I smiled. Of course. He thanked me, then left. A few weeks later, the pressure from debt became unbearable. Loan companies were calling. Creditors were calling. My side chick was demanding money. And then, I did something that still haunts me today. Something I never imagined I could do. I sold my friend's car. The car he trusted me with. The car that wasn't mine. When the money entered my account, instead of feeling relief, I felt fear.
I trust you with this, bro.
Because deep down, I knew I had crossed a line I could never uncross. But by then, I was already trapped. And I had no idea the worst was still coming. A few weeks after selling Daniel's car, I thought things would finally get better. At least that was what I told myself. The money from the car had settled some debts. My side chick stopped complaining for a while. And I foolishly believed the worst was over. I was wrong. One Saturday afternoon, she called me. Her voice sounded serious. Michael, can we meet? My heart immediately became uneasy. Something didn't feel right. We met at a quiet restaurant in Suralere. The moment I sat down, I noticed she wasn't smiling.
Are you okay?
Michael, there's something I need to tell you. I'm pregnant.
What? Pregnant? How did this happen? I have a wife and children. Everything could fall apart. I wasn't expecting this.
Michael, please calm down. We'll figure this out together. You're not facing this alone. Don't panic.
And somehow, I believed her. That was another mistake. From that day forward, my responsibilities doubled. Hospital appointments, medical tests, ultrasounds, medication, transportation, food, rent. Everything became my
wow.
responsibility.
You didn't have to.
If
Look
she
at these
called and
tiny
needed money,
clothes.
I
Thank you
sent it.
so much for everything.
If she said she wasn't feeling well, I rushed over. If she wanted something, I found a way to provide it. Meanwhile, my own family was suffering. Sarah kept asking questions. Questions I refused to answer. The children needed things. Things I couldn't afford anymore. Because most of my money was disappearing elsewhere. Sometimes I would look at my wife and feel guilty. But not guilty enough to stop. One evening, I came home and found Sarah sitting alone. The children were asleep. The lights were off except for one small lamp. She looked exhausted. Thinner. Older. Not because she was old, but because life was wearing her down. She looked at me quietly. Then asked, "Michael, are we okay?" I couldn't answer. Because I knew we weren't. She continued, "I miss my husband." Those words pierced my heart. But instead of fixing my marriage, I continued destroying it. Months later, the baby was born. A healthy baby boy. I was overjoyed. I felt proud. I felt relieved.
He's absolutely perfect, isn't he?
I thought all my sacrifices finally meant something. I paid the hospital bills. I bought baby clothes, baby food, baby supplies. I spent money I didn't have, borrowed more money, took more loans, made more promises. All because I believed I was taking care of my son. Looking back now, I was paying for a lie. 1 month later, I was sitting in my office, trying to figure out how to pay another debt. My phone vibrated. It was a message from her. I smiled, then opened it. And my world collapsed. The message read, "Michael, it's over." My heart skipped. I continued reading. "I am getting married next week." I froze. Married? To who? Then I saw the next line. "The real father of my baby." I read the message again. And again. And again. Hoping my eyes were deceiving me. But the words never changed. The child wasn't mine. The pregnancy wasn't mine. The future I thought I was building was never mine. I felt sick. My hands started shaking. My breathing became heavy. I couldn't believe it. Everything I sacrificed. Everything I borrowed. Everything I sold. Everything I risked. For nothing. I refused to accept it. I drove straight to her apartment. Empty. She was gone. I called her phone. Switched off. I contacted friends. Nobody knew anything. Or maybe they knew, and simply didn't care. The woman I nearly destroyed my family for had vanished. Without a trace. Then came another disaster. Daniel returned from Abuja. And he wanted his car. The same car I had sold. The same car he trusted me to protect. I still remember standing in front of him. Sweating. Ashamed. Unable to look him in the eye. "Michael, where is my car?" I had no answer. For the first time in my life, I saw disappointment in my friend's eyes. Not anger. Disappointment. And somehow, that hurt even more. That day, I lost one of the best friends I ever had. My debts remained. The loans remained. The shame remained. Every morning I woke up with anxiety. Every night I went to bed with regret. I became withdrawn. Quiet. Broken. The man I saw in the mirror no longer looked familiar. I had become a stranger to myself. One evening, I was sitting alone, thinking about everything I had lost. Then I remembered something my father used to say. A sentence I ignored for years. He would always tell me, "Son, there is nothing outside marriage. Whatever you think you are looking for outside, sit down with your wife and fix it." Back then, I thought he was old-fashioned. Today, I know he was right. Because the woman I neglected was the one who truly loved me. The woman I chased only loved what I could give her. And by the time I learned the difference, the damage had already been done. Listen carefully. Whatever you think you are missing outside your marriage, sit down and fix it with your partner. Because sometimes, the grass only looks greener on the other side until you get there and discover it was all an illusion. The grass is not greener on the other side. It is greener where you water it. Michael lost money. He lost trust. He lost his dignity. And nearly lost the family that truly loved him. Now I want to hear from you. If you were Sarah, would you forgive Michael after everything he did? Yes or no? Tell me honestly in the comments section. And if you've learned something from this story, type lesson learned in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Truth Tales Studio for more emotional African true life stories. And tell me, what country are you watching from?